Do you feel it? That quiet ache in your chest, that whisper in your mind asking, why isn't this working? It's not just you, it's not just them. Relationships, those beautiful, fragile connections, are struggling everywhere today. And I'll tell you why. It's not because people don't care. It's not because love has lost its meaning. It's because we've forgotten how to show up fully, how to strip away the armor and stand vulnerable in front of someone we care about. We're stuck in a cycle where real communication takes a backseat. We talk, but we don't connect. We're distracted, divided, and dismissive. And let's not even start on expectations, right? Hollywood, social media, fairy tales, they've all fed us this idea of perfect love. Guess what? Perfection is a myth. The gap between what we expect and what's real is where frustration and disappointment thrive. We project, we demand, and when our partner doesn't match that picture-perfect vision, resentment creeps in. Conflict? Oh, we all have it, but what do we do with it? We sweep it under the rug. We avoid the hard conversations because they're uncomfortable. But here's the deal, unresolved pain doesn't disappear, it festers. It grows into bitterness that suffocates even the strongest bonds. Let me tell you another hard truth we've stopped saying thank you, that tiny act of gratitude that can turn an ordinary day into a magical one. We've let it slip away. We assume our partner knows how we feel, so we stop showing appreciation. And with every missed opportunity to say, I see you, I value you, the connection weakens. Technology doesn't help, does it? Sure, it keeps us in touch, but it also keeps us apart. A text message is no substitute for a real conversation. Scrolling through your phone while your partner is talking isn't multitasking, it's disconnection. And then there's the silent killer of relationships, stagnation. When we stop growing as individuals, the relationship stops growing too. Codependency, complacency, they creep in, slowly eroding the foundation of what you built together. But let's dig even deeper. What about vulnerability? That raw, beautiful, terrifying act of showing someone your soul. Too many of us are afraid to go there. We're terrified of being judged, rejected, or hurt, so we keep walls up. But walls don't just keep pain out, they keep love out too. Society doesn't make it easy either. The pressure to conform to an ideal, whether it's how your relationship should look or what milestones you should hit, is exhausting. It's a relentless comparison game that drains joy and authenticity. And here's the kicker: we forget the why, the reason we came together in the first place. The spark that ignited it all. Over time, the daily grind buries that why beneath layers of routine and obligation. And without that why, the bond begins to fade. Think about this communication as the lifeblood of any relationship. It's how we connect, understand, and build trust. But today it's become one of the biggest barriers. Why? Because we're not truly listening and we're not being honest about what we need, feel, or want. We say just enough to get by, or worse, we say nothing at all, assuming our partner should just know. Let me tell you, nobody's a mind reader. When you hold back, when you stay silent, you're not protecting the relationship, you're starving it. Those little unsaid truths, those feelings left unexpressed, they don't disappear. They sit there growing, turning into resentment, frustration, or distance. And then one day it explodes and you're left wondering what happened. But it's not just about talking, it's about how you talk. Are you speaking with intention? Are you creating a safe space for the other person to share without fear of judgment or criticism? Or are you reacting, letting ego, pride, or anger take the wheel? And what about listening? Real listening, not the kind where you're just waiting for your turn to speak. Listening to understand, to empathize, to connect. That's where the magic happens. That's where trust is built. Communication isn't just words, it's energy, it's presence, it's the willingness to show up, to be vulnerable, to say, I see you, I hear you, and I'm here for you. That's what strengthens relationships. That's what love looks like in action. Emotional unavailability is like building a wall brick by brick between you and your partner. Every time you shut down, avoid expressing your feelings, or dismiss theirs, that wall gets higher. And here's the thing, it doesn't happen all at once. It's gradual. But over time, the distance becomes undeniable. We all crave connection, it's a human need, but connection doesn't come from physical proximity or surface level conversation. It comes from emotional depth, from feeling truly seen and understood. When one partner shuts down emotionally, it creates a void. That void isn't just empty, it's filled with frustration, loneliness, and eventually resentment. Why does this happen? Often it's fear. Fear of being judged, fear of rejection, fear of vulnerability. But let me tell you, this vulnerability is not a weakness, it's the foundation of trust. When you withhold your emotions, you're not just protecting yourself, you're denying your partner access to the real you. And over time, they start to wonder if they ever knew you at all. Think about the message emotional unavailability sends: you don't matter enough for me to open up. That's not love, that's avoidance. True intimacy comes when you're willing to share the messy, imperfect parts of yourself. It's about creating a space where both of you can lay down your armor and say, this is me. When you withhold that, the relationship becomes a hollow shell. And without emotional connection, love doesn't thrive, it withers. Unrealistic expectations are silent saboteurs in relationships. They sneak in disguised as standards or hopes, but what they really do is set both you and your partner up for failure. We've all been there, wanting our partner to be perfect, to meet every need, to always say or do the right thing. But let's be real, perfection doesn't exist. And holding someone to an impossible standard, that's not love, it's a setup for disappointment. Here's the problem: expectations often come from a story we've been told or a picture we've painted in our minds about what a relationship should look like. Maybe it's a Hollywood fantasy, a social media highlight reel, or even something from our past. But when we project that onto our partner, we're not accepting them for who they are. We're asking them to fit into a mold they were never meant for. And when they inevitably fall short, frustration sets in, trust begins to crack, they feel like they're never enough, and you feel like your needs are unmet. This creates a toxic cycle where both sides lose. Instead of focusing on what your partner isn't, focus on what they are. Celebrate their strengths, their quirks, their humanity. Let go of the idealized version of them you've created in your mind. Because real love isn't about perfection, it's about connection. When you trade unrealistic expectations for understanding and appreciation, you open the door to true harmony and trust. Conflict is inevitable in any relationship. Two people with different thoughts, feelings, and experiences are bound to clash at times. But conflict itself isn't the problem, it's how we handle it that determines whether the relationship grows stronger or starts to crumble. Mismanaged conflict, the kind where tempers flare, words wound, or silence replaces resolution, leaves scars that don't heal easily. When we avoid conflict, it doesn't go away, it festers. That hurt or misunderstanding doesn't disappear, it digs deeper, turning into resentment. And resentment, it's poison. It slowly erodes the love, trust, and connection you've worked so hard to build. But it's not just avoidance that does damage. Explosive reactions, yelling, blaming, or attacking can be just as harmful. They create fear and distance, making the other person feel unsafe and unheard. The key is shifting your perspective. Conflict isn't a threat, it's an opportunity to understand each other better, to address what's been left unsaid, and to grow together. It's about approaching disagreements with respect and curiosity, not with the goal of winning. Winning an argument at the cost of the relationship isn't a victory, it's a loss. You have to be willing to listen, to own your part, and to meet in the middle. When handled with care, conflict doesn't divide, it deepens connection. It becomes a bridge to greater understanding, not a wall that keeps you apart. Mismanage it, and you're left with pain. Master it, and you're building a foundation of trust and growth. Gratitude is the glue that holds relationships together. It's not just a nice gesture or a polite thank you, it's the acknowledgement that your partner matters, that their efforts, big or small, don't go unnoticed. But when gratitude is absent, when we stop appreciating the little things, we start taking the relationship and each other for granted. Think about this: how often do you focus on what's missing instead of what's there? It's easy to spot flaws or what your partner didn't do, but how often do you pause to recognize the things they do every day? That cup of coffee they made, the way they support you, their laugh that lights up your world. Without gratitude, these moments fade into the background. They become expected, routine, invisible. And what happens then? Resentment begins to creep in. One partner feels unappreciated, the other feels misunderstood, and the connection starts to fray. Gratitude isn't just for them, it's for you too. When you practice gratitude, you train your mind to focus on the positive. You remember why you fell in love in the first place. You reinforce the bond that holds you together. A relationship without gratitude is like a garden without water. It may survive for a while, but eventually it withers. Gratitude is the water, the sunshine, the nourishment that helps love grow. It's simple but powerful. Say thank you. Show appreciation. Let your partner know you see them, you value them, and you cherish them. In today's world, we're more connected than ever, yet so many of us feel more disconnected in our relationships. Why? Because we've traded deep, face-to-face connection for the convenience of digital communication. Sure, texting, emails, and video calls have their place, but relying on them too much comes at a cost of emotional intimacy. You can't fully express love, frustration, or vulnerability through a text message. Emojis can't replace the warmth of a touch, the depth of a look, or the comfort of someone's voice in the same room. Digital communication is efficient, but it's surface level. It strips away the nuance of human emotion, leaving room for misinterpretation, misunderstanding, and missed opportunities to connect on a deeper level. What happens when this becomes the default? Conversations become transactional instead of meaningful. Arguments escalate because you can't hear tone or see facial expressions. And slowly but surely, the relationship begins to feel hollow. You start to miss the real moments, the laughter over dinner, the comforting silence of just being together. True emotional intimacy requires presence. It demands that you put down the phone, step away from the screen, and engage with your partner in real time. It's about being there not just physically, but emotionally. It's about listening, touching, laughing, and sometimes crying together. When you rely too much on digital communication, you're not just missing moments, you're missing the magic that makes a relationship thrive. Relationships thrive when two whole individuals come together to create something greater than themselves. But when you neglect your own growth, your passions, dreams, and personal evolution, you risk losing the essence of who you are. And when that happens, the relationship begins to suffer. Instead of being two strong individuals supporting each other, you either fall into codependency or stagnation. Codependency might feel like love at first. You're always together relying on each other for everything. But over time, it becomes suffocating. One person feels burdened, the other feels lost. The balance shifts from mutual support to emotional dependency, and the relationship starts to crack under the weight. On the other hand, stagnation is just as dangerous. When neither of you is growing, the relationship becomes stale. There's no excitement, no new energy, no spark. You're stuck in the same patterns, going through the motions without any forward momentum. And eventually, one or both of you start to feel disconnected, even bored. The truth is, the strongest relationships are built on growth, both as a couple and as individuals. When you're pursuing your own goals, learning and evolving, you bring fresh energy and inspiration to the relationship. You show up as your best self, and you encourage your partner to do the same. Growth isn't selfish, it's necessary, because when you continue to grow individually, the relationship grows with you, creating a foundation of strength, excitement, and possibility. Vulnerability is the gateway to true intimacy, but for so many of us, it feels like a risk too great to take. We hide behind walls, afraid to expose our fears, our weaknesses, and our deepest truths. Why? Because we're terrified of rejection, judgment, or getting hurt. But here's the paradox: by avoiding vulnerability, we're also avoiding the one thing we crave most: real connection. When you refuse to open up, you're not protecting yourself, you're shutting out your partner. You might think you're keeping the peace or staying strong, but what you're really doing is creating distance. How can someone truly love you if they never get to see the real you? The cracks, the flaws, the raw emotions, that's where love grows. That's where trust is built. Fear of vulnerability turns relationships into shallow exchanges. It keeps conversations surface level, prevents conflicts from being resolved, and stops love from reaching its full potential. It's like building a house with no foundation. It might look fine on the outside, but it won't stand when the storms come. True connection demands courage. It asks you to let down your guard and say, here I am, all of me. It's not weakness, it's strength. Because when you allow yourself to be seen, you give your partner permission to do the same. And in that mutual vulnerability, you create a bond so deep, so real, that fear has no place. It's love in its most powerful form. Relationships are hard enough without the weight of the outside world pressing down on them, yet so many couples let external influences, societal pressures, cultural expectations, and the endless noise of comparison shape the way they live, love, and connect. It's like trying to build something beautiful while the world around you keeps telling you what it should look like. Maybe it's the pressure to achieve a certain milestone marriage by a certain age, kids by another. Maybe it's the influence of family opinions, friends' advice, or even the unrealistic relationships portrayed in movies or social media. These voices creep into your relationship, questioning your choices, doubting your connection, and planting seeds of insecurity. Over time, these pressures create tension. You start to question if you're doing it right. You start comparing your relationship to someone else's highlight reel, forgetting that every couple has their own journey. And when you let these outside forces dictate your decisions, you lose sight of what truly matters: the bond between you and your partner. The truth is, no one else is living your relationship. No one else feels what you feel or knows the love you share. Letting external influences take control weakens your foundation and creates unnecessary stress. To thrive, you need to tune out the noise and tune into each other. Protect your connection fiercely, align on your shared vision, and remind yourselves that the only expectations that matter are the ones you create together. When you first met, there was a spark, a fire, a reason why you were drawn to each other. That why was the foundation of your connection. But over time, as the daily grind takes over, the routine settles in, and life gets busy, it's easy to forget why you started this journey together in the first place. And when you forget the why, you begin to lose sight of what truly matters. The why is the purpose that fuels the relationship. It's what connects you on a deeper level. It's the dreams you share, the values that align, the vision for the future you both want to create. Without this, the relationship can become stagnant, just two people going through the motions without a clear sense of direction. When life gets tough and challenges arise, it's that why that reminds you why it's worth fighting for. It's that sense of shared purpose that keeps you moving forward, even when things aren't perfect. But if you lose sight of it, even small issues can seem insurmountable. The bond weakens and the connection starts to fade. The key to lasting relationships isn't just love, it's a constant reminder of why you're together. It's about revisiting that why regularly, aligning on what you both want, and actively nurturing that vision. Because when you remember the why, you remember why this relationship is worth every effort, every challenge, and every beautiful moment along the way. The truth is, every relationship faces challenges, but those challenges don't have to tear you apart. They can make you stronger if you're willing to confront them head on. If you stop letting communication slip, if you open your heart and face your fears, if you shed the weight of unrealistic expectations and external pressures, you can create something extraordinary. It's not about perfection, it's about presence, about showing up for each other every single day. It's about making the choice to grow together and individually to build a life rooted in trust, understanding, and unwavering support. Remember, the best relationships aren't the ones without struggles. They're the ones where both people are committed to working through them with love, patience, and resilience. When you're willing to face your vulnerabilities, honor your connection, and remember your why, you unlock the potential for a love that not only survives, it thrives. So make the decision today. Take ownership of your relationship. Start communicating deeply, appreciate each other fully, and keep building that bond. Your love is worth it. Your future together is worth it. And when you embrace these truths, you'll find a depth of connection and joy that you've always dreamed of.